Today, August 9th, the veil between dimensions is thinner. There's a silence in the air that isn't empty. It's a state of deep listening. It's as if the entire universe is leaning toward you, awaiting the next move, the next word, the next thought you will emit. Some will pass through this day as if it were just another date on the calendar, but those who perceive the signs will feel that something different is pulsating within the invisible fabric of reality. We're not talking about superstition, but about an energetic pattern recorded in various esoteric traditions. In Hermetic schools, this period was marked as a point of transition of forces. For certain shamanic peoples, it was a day of ritual seclusion. In astrology, it is a moment of convergence of subtle lines that alter how energy moves in and out of us. All these traditions, separated by centuries and continents, point to the same perception. There are windows in time when accelerated changes become possible. And August 9th is one of these windows. What we now call the celestial seal is exactly that, an instant when your vibrational field expands to its maximum, like a chalice ready to receive water. But there's a crucial detail. Everything that enters this chalice today will be imprinted far more deeply than at any other time. It's like carving in stone instead of writing in the sand. Therefore, this isn't an ordinary day to meditate, pray, or manifest intentions in an inattentive way. It's a day when any external interference, a misaligned word, a noisy contact, a seemingly harmless distraction, can compromise all the spiritual work you've built throughout the year. Today, more than ever, caring for what enters and stays in your field is an act of discipline and protection. This is the invitation to understand the force of this day, to recognize that the crossing has already begun, and to decide whether you will pass through it conscious and preserved, or distracted and vulnerable. Because the celestial seal doesn't wait, it opens only once, and only those who sustain their own energy will cross into the next cycle carrying light instead of noise. The day August 9th carries within it a numerical and symbolic combination that acts as a point of energetic condensation. In numerology, the number 9 represents the ending of cycles, completion, the synthesis of experiences, and the silent preparation for a new beginning. It is the final breath before a rebirth, the deep inhalation before diving into new waters. The number 8, with its shape that reflects infinity, is the symbol of cosmic balance, the continuous flow between giving and receiving, between what rises and what descends. When united on this date, these numbers don't just coexist, they potentiate each other. The 9 offers closure and cleansing, while the 8 sustains continuity and stability. It's as if the day were a portal where you close what no longer serves, and at the same time, anchor the new frequency you will carry in the next cycles. It is the moment when the keys to the old door and the future gate are in your hands at the same time. Think of today's energy as a lens that concentrates sunlight into a single point. With this intensity, a simple beam becomes capable of lighting a fire. Similarly, any intention you project today, for good or for ill, will be imprinted with more force on the fabric of your reality. Therefore, conscious choice is vital. The closest metaphor is perhaps a large, calm lake reflecting the sky. On ordinary days, a thrown stone forms ripples that soon dissipate. But today, the ripples lengthen, touching the farthest shores and altering the surface for much longer. Every thought, emotion, or action of yours will be that stone, and you decide whether it creates circles of harmony or distortion. This is not just another day of common spiritual practices. It's a day of vibrational imprinting, where what you allow into your field will be registered like a seal, hard to erase, impossible to ignore. That's why understanding the hidden meaning of 8-9 is not a mystical luxury, but an act of self-preservation. On days like 8-9, your energetic field, or auric field, doesn't remain its usual size. It expands as if breathing deeply along with the cosmos, becoming more sensitive and more permeable. It's as if all your antennas are directed to pick up signals, and every cell is in a state of attention, awaiting what is to come. This expansion is not selective on its own. Just like an amplifying crystal that increases any vibration it receives, your field today potentiates everything that enters it, be it light or shadow. This means that encounters, conversations, sounds, and even thoughts picked up in the environment can take on greater proportions than they would on a normal day. Imagine you are an open garden. On normal days, the invisible fence of routine prevents much from entering. But today, the gates are wide open, and the wind brings seeds of all kinds. Some might blossom into beauty, others might tangle like weeds. The responsibility to choose what stays is yours. Therefore, attention to what approaches must be redoubled. Superficial interactions, random messages, opinions laden with emotional weight, all of this today can leave marks that last for weeks or months. It is no exaggeration to say that even a brief encounter with a misaligned energy can cloud the clarity of the celestial seal. If you understand that this expansion is a gift, but also a test, you will know how to position yourself. Being receptive does not mean being vulnerable. The secret is to create a field of conscious presence, where you welcome what resonates and let what doesn't serve pass, without allowing it to cling to your light. Today, more than ever, your magnetic field is your spiritual signature, and what you carry in it will be what the universe recognizes when the seal closes. To pass through 8-9 with your field preserved, it takes more than awareness. It requires a deliberate act of anchoring. This is where the Guardian's Breath ritual comes in, a simple but profoundly symbolic exercise, capable of sealing your frequency and cleansing any noise that has tried to infiltrate. The practice is based on the number 9, which carries the code of cycle completion. Each conscious breath in this pattern is like closing a door that should no longer be opened. The process is as follows. Inhale slowly, counting to 9, hold the air for 9 counts, and then exhale also in 9 counts. It's not just about breath control, but an alignment between body, mind, and energy. As you inhale, you pull in the light and vitality of the present moment. As you hold, you fix it at the center of your being. As you exhale, you release everything that does not belong to your field. Intrusive thoughts, tensions, memories that weigh you down. The metaphor is clear. Each respiratory cycle is like wiping a cloth of light over the mirrors of the soul, removing the dust that prevents a clear reflection. At the end of 9 complete cycles, you will feel the body more rooted and the mind more silent. This ritual should be done in an isolated and silent space, away from distractions, preferably with your feet firmly on the ground, so the energy can stabilize. There's no rush. It's a moment of intimacy with your own essence, a reminder that before protecting what is around you, you must protect your own core. And remember, the Guardian's Breath is not just an exercise. It's a commitment. It's your internal seal telling the universe that you are ready to get through the day with clarity and strength. Before we continue, if this video is being helpful to you, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment below on what has resonated most with you so far. This helps the message reach more people and strengthens our community. Today, the place where you are is not just a physical space. Your home becomes a direct extension of your energetic field, a resonance chamber where every detail contributes to the tuning of your frequency. This is why on 8-9 the house ceases to be just a dwelling and becomes a living, silent, and attentive temple. Just as a delicate musical instrument needs a controlled environment to stay in tune, the soul also requires a still air to stabilize its internal notes. Any unnecessary noise, be it a superficial conversation, an external sound, or even visual clutter, can alter the harmony you need to preserve on this day. Today, every wall, every corner, every beam of light that enters through the window acts as a silent guardian of your process. When you organize the space, reduce stimuli, and create an environment of quietude, you are in fact building a vibrational barrier against external interferences. Preparing the house for the celestial seal doesn't have to be complicated. It's more about intention than physical effort. Silencing noises, turning off distracting devices, choosing soft lighting, keeping doors closed to limit access. It's about allowing the air of the space to carry only what nourishes your energy. Think of your home today as a cocoon. Inside it, you are not isolated by fear, but protected for transformation. And just as the butterfly only emerges when its wings are ready, you too will leave this chamber with your frequency intact, ready to cross the invisible bridge that 8-9 opens only for those who remain aligned. On a normal day, crossing energies with other people is inevitable and often harmless. But on 8-9, when your magnetic field is expanded and in a state of deep recording, every interaction becomes a mark-leaving exchange. This is where the trap of collective resonance lies, the tendency to absorb others' frequencies simply by being near them. The phenomenon is simple to understand. When two energetic fields meet, there is an exchange, even if silent. It doesn't matter if it was a quick conversation, a prolonged look, or even a voice message you listened to for a few seconds. If the energy that reached you was misaligned, it can mix with your vibration and weaken the celestial seal you are trying to preserve. It's as if you have a pure, vibrant paint in a cup, and someone drips another color into it. The original purity is lost, even if the new color is subtle, and once mixed, separating it again requires much more effort than preventing the mix from the beginning. Therefore, today's isolation is not a gesture of loneliness or social withdrawal. It is a strategic act of preservation. It's like closing the doors of a laboratory so no unwanted dust contaminates the ongoing experiment. If you must interact, let it be brief, conscious, and with clear intention. Keep your center firm like an anchor that doesn't move even when the tide tries to drag it. Today, what you protect is more valuable than gold, because it's not something you can buy or easily recover. It is the purity of your own frequency at the exact moment the universe is about to seal it. On 8-9, the energy you plant is the energy that germinates. But unlike other days, there is a secret today. The seeds sown in silence have a much greater power than those exposed to the eyes and opinions of others. It's as if the universe itself gives priority to what is born protected, without the interference of external voices. When you keep your intention guarded, it remains intact, free from others' doubts, judgments, or projections. That's why ancient mages, shamans, and initiates performed their rituals away from public eyes, not out of fear, but from the understanding that pure energy flourishes faster when it is protected. Think of a seed planted in the dark of the earth. It germinates protected, invisible, away from winds or careless feet. Only later, when it's strong enough, does it break the surface and find the light. Today, your intention is that seed. You decide whether to leave it exposed to be pulled out or to guard it in the fertile soil of your silence. Create, then, a moment of intentional focus. Choose a quiet space, breathe deeply, and mentally envision with clarity what you wish to fix in your field. It's not a time to ask with anxiety, but to affirm with certainty. What you sow today, the universe will recognize as part of your seal, and once registered, it will be difficult to erase. The silent harvest is more than a practice. It is a pact between you and the cosmos, where the unspoken word and the unexhibited gesture carry more force than any public declaration. Because in the end, it is in the invisible that the visible begins to be born. The silence and energetic preservation that 8-9 asks for don't just serve to prevent external energies from entering your field. They also create the perfect environment for you to see what was already inside you, but remained hidden. This is where the hidden mirror appears. An internal reflection that doesn't show up on ordinary days, when the external noise is too loud for us to listen to ourselves. Today, this mirror becomes clear. In it, you can see memories that still influence your decisions, patterns that repeat silently, emotions that have been filed away for years. It's not about judgment or condemnation, but revelation. The hidden mirror is not here to punish, but to offer clarity, because only what is revealed can be transformed. The experience can be intense. It's like cleaning an old pane of glass, full of the marks of time, and finally seeing what's on the other side. Some images will bring peace, others will require courage to face, but all have a purpose, to align you with your truest frequency before the celestial seal closes. Receive what appears with neutrality. Neither cling too much to what is beautiful, nor reject what is uncomfortable with force. Just observe, breathe, and allow consciousness to expand. Today, the greatest act of power is not to chase new answers, but to sustain your gaze before what the hidden mirror decides to show, because it always reveals exactly what you need to see to cross the next stage more whole and more conscious. As the day advances and you preserve your energy, something subtle begins to form. The feeling that you are approaching a point of passage, an invisible portal that separates the cycle that is ending from the one that is about to begin. This is where you encounter the guardian of the threshold. This guardian is not an external entity, but your own consciousness in a heightened state. It watches attentively every choice you have made throughout the day, what you allowed into your field, how you reacted to the unforeseen, whether or not you maintained the clarity of your internal seal. It is not punitive, but discerning, and it does not open the way for those who carry noises that do not belong to them. The symbolic image is powerful. The guardian stands before a luminous door, and you only see it clearly when your frequency is aligned. If at any point you gave into dispersion or external interference, the light of that door begins to weaken. But if you sustained silence, discipline, and pure intention, the light intensifies, illuminating the path ahead. The guardian of the threshold represents spiritual maturity. It is the reflection of your ability to remain faithful to what is essential, even when the world around you tries to pull your attention away. And crossing through it is not an act of physical force or persuasion, but of internal coherence. At this moment, there are no more masks, justifications, or distractions. There is only you, your energy, and the truth about how much you managed to preserve it. The guardian does not ask, "What do you want?" It asks silently, "Are you ready?" When the guardian of the threshold steps aside and the passage is revealed, there are no fireworks or triumphant music. The invisible crossing happens in silence and is often felt more than seen. It's like walking across a bridge made of ethereal light, perceptible only to those whose frequency is in tune with the celestial seal. At that moment, there is no more effort. The energy you preserved throughout the day begins to lead you on its own, as if a gentle current were carrying you to the other side. It is a natural flow, the result of every conscious choice made since dawn. The world around you may seem the same, but internally, something is irreversibly rearranged. The bridge, however, is sensitive. Any abrupt distraction, any misaligned thought, can make it disappear before you complete the passage. That is why mindfulness until the last moment is so vital. The crossing is not just about reaching the destination, but about crossing whole, carrying only what resonates with the new frequency. Imagine you are crossing a corridor of mirrors that don't reflect your physical image but your energy. Every step shows what you are taking with you. And as you get closer to the end, what is not part of you simply falls away, like illuminated dust that the wind carries away. When you reach the other side, there are no trumpets announcing victory. There is a profound silence, accompanied by a deep sense of lightness and alignment. And it is in this quietude that you realize the crossing is complete, and you are no longer the same person who began the day. When the sun of the next day touches your skin, you may realize that something has changed, even if nothing at first glance seems different. This is the first sign that the celestial seal has been preserved and registered, a silent lightness, as if invisible layers have been removed. The signs manifest in subtle and powerful ways. You might wake up with clearer dreams carrying symbolic messages that seem to be direct answers to your intentions. Small synchronicities begin to appear, an unexpected encounter, a phrase that arrives at the right moment, an old obstacle that dissolves naturally. There is also a peace that does not depend on external circumstances, as if the center of your being has found an unshakable fixed point. The day after is not just the continuation of the calendar. It is the beginning of a new cycle, and you cross it already different even if the world insists on showing itself to be the same. What was sealed on 8/9 will continue to act behind the scenes, shaping events, choices, and perceptions. It's like planting a tree and the next day, already feeling the cool shade of its first leaves, even if the trunk is still growing. The most important thing is to understand that this change is not the result of chance, but of every conscious decision you made to protect and honor your vibrational field. This is the true act of power, knowing that external reality responds to your internal discipline. Now, the invitation is simple and profound. Keep this experience as a reference. Whenever the world tries to drag you out of your center, remember that you crossed an invisible portal and returned with more light. Share this understanding, live in alignment with it, and allow the echo of 8-9 to continue to guide your steps. Because the celestial seal does not close in a single day, it extends into those who knew how to cross it with consciousness.